Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Psalm 37:4.
That's why my heart is a beat like do.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I missed you so. I'm sorry, I'm a hugger, but I promise you I've been working on it. And I can't wait to give hugs again. But you did not come here for a hug, I think. You came here for this brown hair with patch highlights tutorial. So with that being said, let's get started. So if you're used to my coloring videos, then you know why the hair is sectioned off like this into pigtails and twisties. But if you don't know why, I'll explain it right now. So I am a perfectionist. I like to see where the color is going to be when I take off the wig and when I put it on my head, right? So first, I'm going to section off those patch highlights just to make sure they're equal and they're where and how thick I want them to be. And then I'm going to twist them up just because they're too small to put into a scrunchie, and to just separate them from the rest of the hair. So on to the next section, which is going to be like the frontal area or the hair that goes forward from behind your ear. The rest of the hair in the back is all going to be dyed the same, brown with highlights and ombre tips. Then here in the front, I've made sure to leave my edges out. Well, not my edges, but you get what I'm saying. I made sure to spare my edges and then split that front half into two. One half before the ear and then one half behind the ear. They're going to be dyed similarly, but a little different. So you want to keep them separated like that. And there you have it, your 4 pieces, your patch highlights, the front half, which is going to start blonder higher, and then the back half, which is going to start blonder lower. And you'll see what I mean when we start dyeing the hair. So that's how we made it to right here with the pigtails and twisties, okay? I know it looks silly, and you don't have to do it this way, but trust me, it helps. So grab that bleach and let's get coloring. Step 1 is to lift the hair. I've already bleached my knots, so you want to make sure you've done that already. Now I'm just mixing some BW2 and 4D developer, and I'm going to start applying that to the hair. And make sure you have plenty of foil on hand. You're going to need it throughout the whole process. So the first part of the hair we're bleaching is the patch highlights. This is going to be the brightest part on our hair, so it's important that you bleach it first so that it has a head start. These patches are muy importante, very important. So make sure you're going underneath, coloring very well, not to miss any spots, and then going back in on top. I'm using the foil to protect it from the baby hairs and the rest of the hair. And then once you're done, fold it and put it away so that the bleach doesn't touch anything you don't want it to. And then on to the next. So the front half that we parted earlier, I'm gonna take that and start bleaching it from the end and work my way up. The point here is to make like an ombre highlight effect. I want it to be lighter in the front of the wig. So I'll just show you guys on the other side. It'll be a much better angle. And if bleach touches your edges, try to wipe it away with a towel quickly. If the bleach gets anywhere else and messes your hair up, don't worry, we'll fix it with dye in the end, but still be careful. All right, so this angle is so much better. What I did on the other side was take the bleach and apply it higher in the front and lower it in the back. It kind of forms like a triangular angle if you can see it. This is going to help our patch highlights transition nicely into the wig. And then I wrap it up with foil and that's it. On to the next section, which was the next half that we parted behind our ear. I'm basically doing the same triangular bleaching thing, just much lower. This is like the easiest way to create dimension in your highlights and levels in your hair, okay? And we're done with the front. Now on to the back, which is a lot of hair. I'm gonna split it into 2 halves and they're gonna be dyed the same. So I'm just ombreing the tips by, spreading bleach halfway up and then the same thing on the second level. If you notice, I only use the brush to apply the bleach and then I go in with my hands because it's a lot of hair, guys, and nobody has time for that. When you're working with bleach, you gotta move fast because it starts coloring, as you can see, and you really don't want any missing spots. So I'm opening up the foil, just going back into what I colored. I wanna make sure that the bleach is not becoming too dry because the processing time slows down. So I'm going back and I'm soaking more bleach in that thing, folding it back up so it can continue to process at full speed, okay? And I'm making sure it gets everywhere too, like you really don't wanna miss any spots. If I'm keeping it real, bleaching is definitely the most annoying part. I mean, the smell, the quickedness you have to have, the messiness it creates, but once you're done, it looks like this. I'm going back into that patch to make sure it's all Gucci, and then it's ready to wash out. And congratulations, you've made it past the first round of bleaching. When I wash it out, I only use conditioner because I don't want to use shampoo and dry the hair out. It's already about to go through a lot, trust me. So I let it air dry and I went on with my day, and in the evening I came back right to it. I should have let it bleach lighter. That was really my mistake. I was being scary or whatever, but you kind of wanted it to be blonde like this piece right here. So taking my Wella Blondor lightener, it has like purple agents in it which help against brassiness, helps you get ashier hair faster. That's what we want. I'm going to use that to first of all, lighten the hair that I should have in the beginning. Whenever you're bleaching your hair to like a ashier color or going for blonde vibes, Blondor is a good lightener to use. It's just more expensive than BW2, which is why I'm using it for the round 2 of the bleaching stage. If you have enough to bleach the whole hair and you don't mind spending some cash, then you go ahead, but you know, that's just what I prefer, to bleach first with BW2 and then to go in for round 2 with Blondor. And just to motivate you, round 2 of bleaching is way easier than round 1 because you can already see what you're trying to lift. So after I lift all those lighter areas, I'm now going to start bleaching the black parts. And the goal is to lift it to a honey brown color. I do the main part of the wig first because it's a lot more hair to go over. And I also don't put the bleach on the roots. I kind of leave the roots black because I like that shadow root effect. On this part of the process, you still want to move pretty quickly, but it is a lot easier than what we were doing before. So yeah, up to the top half, just putting that bleach on the black parts, making sure to split it, make sure I'm getting in there. And then after I'm done with the back, no more need for foil, right? I'm gonna move on to the front of the wig. You can definitely tell the back is already turning brown. So I'm moving as fast as I can, but no worries, like the frontal colors way faster because it's less hair. And I'm just gonna place foil on the other side so that when I flip it over, the bleach doesn't get on my roots on that middle part. Even if it does, guys, don't trip. We're gonna fix it with hair dye in the end. And then once you're done, this is how it should look. The black roots, brown hair, blonde ends, blonde patch in the front thriving, and just an overall, you know, neat looking balayage / ombre. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash it out with shampoo and conditioner. And after that, you are done bleaching, guys. You can put the bleach away. Overnight, I left the hair conditioning in that grocery bag and it soaked it all up. Like, you do not want to skip this step, guys. Your hair needs the love. It's going through a lot. All that bleaching we done, the toning and dyeing we're about to do, you don't want to skip this step. After rinsing all that conditioner out, I towel dried the hair. Ooh, my poor mannequin head. Anyways, I'll just order a new one, sha. I'll also leave all the products in the description box for you guys, but look at those highlights, like it came out so good. So now it is time to tone the hair, and I'm using a 20 developer. The directions say to use 1 part toner and 2 parts developer. If you have measuring cups at home, what comes in the container is basically a 4th cup. So all I did was use that to measure out my portions, and it gave me the perfect mix. And you can use any toner and developer you want. You don't have to use the products that I have. I know Redken toners are good, but if you're looking for T. Wella toners, you can go to Sally's online or in store, or you can order it off of Amazon, and I'll leave those links down in the description box below. But yeah, we're gonna apply that toner to all the blonde pieces on our head. This is gonna ash them out and get them ready for the final process of dyeing. And when toning the hair, keep in mind that as it's ashing those blondes, it's definitely gonna lighten the brown and black that it touches. So if you wanna use foil, go ahead, but I didn't feel like wasting any more foil. I was cool with anything turning whatever color it wanted to. But this is how it looks like when it's done. I had so much product left. I could have definitely made it with one bottle, and it has turned purple, so that's a good sign that it has processed. I don't wanna overdo it because I'd rather it not be ashy enough than turn purple. Purple is hard to get rid of, so I'm gonna go ahead and wash it out. And we are here, ready to put some hair dye on this mug. I just wanted to show y'all that this is what it looks like, okay? It's not a pretty sight at all. It's all orange instead of brown, but at least we have our ashy tones. So let's get to dyeing. The first thing I'm gonna do is part the hair into sections because girl, this is too much. Like, woo, it can be overwhelming. It's so much easier when you grab parts of the hair, put it into ponytails, and you work one section at a time. I actually blame myself for all this work. Like, who told me to make this wig this full? But I know it'll be worth it in the end. I'm gonna take some hairspray. You can use any brand you like. I'm using the olive oil Oresto. And I'm gonna spray the lace, the baby hairs. This is basically going to help prevent that root color from getting into the lace when I start coloring and, staining my lace. Notice my mannequin head is very dirty. It's actually clean, but this is the one I use to, dye hair. Finally, on to our hair colors. This is the star of the show, our ash blonde. I also bought this platinum to support it, but I don't think it changed anything, so don't waste your money or time. And then our brown hair color, which is gonna go all over the hair, and then our root color, which is a brown black. I also have this towel to keep my fingers clean in between changing colors. And then please label your dye bottles so you don't mix up the colors. That's just a quick hack from me to you. First off is the black hair dye. We're gonna use that to color our edges. Now you don't have to get close to the lace like at all. Just focus on coloring the hairs gently and using your finger to apply it. And then next off is our roots. I'm only applying a little bit. It's zoomed in and it's sped up. So just be gentle and apply it to the black part. And then I'm using brown to just cover up those orange spots. Like any type of orange you see, it's too late to bleach or anything. Just make sure you cover it with the brown. And then on to the blonde. I'm going to use my finger to spread it. And also you see our foil is back. Our friend foil is back. This is gonna help protect the blonde from touching the black edges. After covering the patches in that ash blonde dye, I'm gonna go back into the roots on top. You don't wanna forget them. We're gonna repeat the same process we did underneath by covering with black and then blending with brown. Then I'm going to fold those blonde pieces in just to protect them from, getting stained by any other color. And then we move on to the sides of the frontal. You noticed I went brown underneath. You don't want to miss any spots. I'm going in with brown first, and I'm going to spread that all the way down to cover everything that's orange. On my channel, anytime we're doing an ash color, orange is a curse word, okay? So after spreading that brown, I'm gonna then go in with the ash blonde with my fingers. I use the brush for the brown and my hands for the ash blonde. And then I take a piece of foil and cover the brown part so that when we part the next piece of hair, we can control what we dye. So I'm repeating the same process and I'm using hairspray to protect my lace. I even went in with black at the root because I noticed I bleached the roots and they got a little orange, and then went in with the blonde on the ends. And you guys already know the hair gets kind of full when you get towards the middle of the frontal, so make sure you're really digging in and getting that dye bottom, top, front, back, everywhere. I have completed one side and I am on to the other half. And guys, like, the more you repeat the process, the more second nature it becomes to your brain. You're just gonna be in there dyeing hair, going in with your browns and your blondes, and moving on up with ease. When you first mix the hair dye together, it's as if it's clear and you can't really see what you're applying, but now it's processed and you can definitely tell where I'm applying the brown and the blonde on this side. So make sure you're covering all that orange, and don't be afraid to, customize it to your liking. Bring that brown as low as you want it. Bring the black as low as you want it. Bring the blonde as high as you want it. It is really all up to you. The frontal with this hair color is really what matters. That's where you really see all the highlights and the levels that you created. As long as you follow these steps, you should be Gucci. Now that I'm done with the front, I'm just taking a large sheet of foil and covering everything to make sure it's all good. And then on the sides as well, with those blonde tips, you don't want them hanging out because you don't want to spill brown dye on them and mess it up. Woo, we are almost done. I can see the light. I work from bottom to top when it comes to the back because it is so much easier that way. With clean gloves, I spread the ash blonde dye all over the ends with my hands. I even use a hairbrush just to make sure it's really getting in there. And then I take the brown and cover everything that is orange. Ignore my pink bonnet, guys. It's so hard to dye from this angle. But anyways, once that's done, I'm gonna take my brush and make sure I blend that brown with that ash blonde. Also go through and make sure there's no orange speck because I don't wanna hear pim when I wash it out. So then I cover with foil and then I move on to the next layer. And I'm going to repeat the same process. Ash blonde first with clean gloves. Remember, use that towel to wipe off your hands. And then the brown dye with the brush to get the roots, the orange, get it out. And once you get into the groove, honey, you are set. It's very simple. Just keep going layer by layer until you reach the top. I will leave how many boxes I ended up using of each color in the description box, and don't worry, that's still ash blonde. It just changes color the more it processes and gets darker. But yes, I'm so happy with how this is coming out. When I get to the top, I make sure to add a line of black just to make those roots transition darker. Yeah, that wraps it up. Put the foil and you are good. I can't believe my hands are clean. I've gotten so much better. Practice makes perfect, you all. But yeah, I just wash out the dye and this is how it looks. I did use purple shampoo to wash it out. I don't know why I didn't record that. But look at this color though. Like, it is so good. But babes, there's a catch, and promise you won't be mad at me. So I actually did this color and recorded the day before my birthday. You can see the presents and the glasses in the back. Yeah, so I didn't record the outro when the hair color was fresh. 2 weeks later, I did make sure to wash the hair again, which is what you see now, and make sure I record, the finishing process of the hair for you guys. So this color is now 2 weeks old in the clips, and as you can see, it still looks pretty fresh. All I did was style it, which I have a video coming for you guys on how I install it. And there the color was. I'm actually glad I waited 2 weeks because I ended up looking better. And I was able to record an outro, yes. So I hope you guys give this color a try. It is beautiful on me, on you, on everybody. I've worn it so many different times. Make sure you hit the like button, okay? Leave me a thumbs up. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, add me as a friend on Snapchat so we can stay in touch. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching. Wait. The next video is actually the application of this wig. Yes, it is. You're welcome. And then another video is coming after that too. But yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.